Got it.
Okay. Go for it.
We're good on both.
Yep.
So 2020 has been a crazy year, right?
Yep.
We've had some comebacks all over the sport. We've seen the Denver Nuggets.
In our lifetime.
Yeah,
we've
we've seen, but even this year alone, we've seen the Denver Nuggets come back twice, down 3-1. We saw the Leafs in game, what was that, game 3, 4? When they came back with a minute left on the clock, scored 3 goals. Huge. Right. We just watched the Dodgers come back from the against the Braves, 3-1, came back, won the World Series the next series.
Yep.
But did Joe Biden have a bigger comeback than any of these teams combined?
I mean, you forgot of the Cowboys coming back against Atlanta. Detroit coming back against Atlanta. Didn't they blow another one?
Every other team that came back against Atlanta.
Everybody that ever plays Atlanta.
And then Atlanta coming through to either fuck them again or help out the cause and undo the damage.
Yeah.
Just absolutely hilarious.
Yep. Like, I've never seen, like, he announced his win.
Yeah.
At 2:30 in the morning on Friday.
Yep.
And, like, full confidence in it. We've won. It took, like, 4 hours for that to no longer be a thing.
Yeah.
Just absolutely hilarious. Fourth quarter comeback. Joe Biden, how are you? Incredible shit.
I was actually looking at like the Bet365 odds. So going into the night, Biden was favored. When they got to like 91% for Florida, the 91% of the vote was counted in at Florida, and they were saying that Trump was going to take Florida. It got to like minus 400 for Trump, and by the end of the night, it was like minus 250 Trump, and then by the end of the night, like
no. Moro, you're saying you're wrong. You're wrong. Trump was like a minus 700 or 800.
Yeah.
At the end of the first night. At the end of the first night.
Oh, was it that bad? I stopped looking at it. I went to sleep.
He was favored.
Bad.
Amir and I were up until like 8:30 in the morning together, just like going through everything.
I went to sleep at like.
It was nuts.
So let me explain the last like 48 hours. Because me and
Can
Brian
I just
spent
say
a lot
before we get in, this is the longest I've ever paid attention to something for 48 hours and been this invested in.
Right.
Like,
And
I watch a lot of sports.
Clearly, you had to watch cricket.
Not a big cricket fan. You're right, but like I watch a lot of sports, and it's just like there's series that happen for like 3 days in a row. Like baseball has series that you play 3 days in a row. But I don't like sit there all day long watching Sportsnet going, okay, the Jays, let's go. I'm literally sitting here almost constantly watching CNN, just following along with what the fuck's going on, and nothing's happening.
This has been like a massive sports game. It's been a massive, like, we're in the second and third quarter of an NBA game and nothing is going on.
No.
It's
bonkers.
wild. Like,
we're icing the puck back and forth in hockey right now.
Basically.
Is what's going on.
So explaining like the last couple of days. At the end of the night, I was talking with friends. It was like 3 a.m, and we're like, "Fuck, we don't see it. I don't see how Biden can come back from this." One of my very like pro Biden, pro Dem friends was like, "Fuck this, it's over," and it's 3 a.m. He goes
Can I
to
just
bed.
interject quick on that too? I wasn't even watching like broadcasts and shit. I'm just Googling it.
Yeah.
So I didn't hear anyone talking about like mail-in ballots and shit. So if you looked at the numbers, it looked over. Like I'll give Trump that.
Absolutely.
It looked over.
Yeah.
Like it was.
And then 3:30, 4 o'clock hits, and then I'm about to go to bed, and at this point I'm like, okay, it's over, whatever. I look on Twitter and it's like, ballots are on its way to Milwaukee. Mail-in ballots are on its way to Milwaukee, and then everything changed. I messaged Brandon, I'm like, yo, you're saying there's a chance? And then everything changed. It was
one of those
insane.
It was one of those things. So you went from the Trump speech was like straight up embarrassing. Like every second of that entire speech is just an embarrassment to the country itself and everyone on. The first one. We're not even up to today yet. But like the first speech, just a straight up embarrassment.
At 2:30 in the morning.
It's an embarrassment to your whole party at that point. And it's that like I'm sitting there in shock after that, and then the Wisconsin votes come in. And shout out Milwaukee. It's the only reason I'm wearing the jersey today. But like to see the feel from Chris Cuomo and Phil, what's the other guy's name? Phil something?
on CNN.
On CNN, yeah, I was watching that and just watching their faces change as soon as the Milwaukee votes came in. Like you could just feel the vibe in the entire vote just switch, and it's like, holy shit, this is a completely different thing now.
And that was the funny thing, because so the guy that you're referring to, it was basically after CNN hit a break, and Wolf Blitzer and John King left the set and got replaced by Cuomo and this other guy, like I haven't really seen.
I don't know Phil.
And then everything changed after that.
Yo, the Cuomo wave, man.
What time was this at?
This was like 3:30, maybe 4 in the morning.
4:30, 4:30. It was crazy. So
we were marathoning, Amir and I. We were up.
It was basically like the whole season of Mandalorian got leaked, and we were watching at that point.
We were binge watching the season of the election. Yeah,
basically.
Yeah.
So you get Milwaukee to start happening, and then Detroit starts happening. Everyone was talking about the potential of a blue wave, and it was completely the only way that was actually going to happen was if Biden got one of Texas or Florida. Once that was over, that chance was over. But the polls saying, and there's been a lot of people yelling at the poll people and the projectors saying that they were wrong for saying Biden was such a heavy favorite. Biden could never have won on election night because of the mail-in votes. The mail-in votes weren't getting counted anywhere. So, like,
and it shows
exactly.
That was the one thing. Is like you heard that I've heard it for the past week. It's just like everyone's saying, "Oh, the mail-in votes is going to go heavy Democrat because no one's going out to vote," and like you believe it, obviously. And like I had the feeling, I'm like, yeah, they're probably going to get a good percentage of it, but you didn't really get a real good idea of what it was going to be until that Wisconsin news hit, and you're like, holy shit, this is an actual thing that like there's a high percentage of people that are the Democratic voting via mail-in.
Yeah,
and you saw it turn the tides, and it's just like realistically every other year, if you're looking at the numbers across all of these states as of 2:00 on Thursday on Tuesday, like you're calling this for Trump because he had a 600,000 vote lead in Pennsylvania. He had like a 300,000 in Michigan and like a 2 something in Wisconsin. Like you're not coming back from that on a regular year. That you call the election and Trump wins it.
Yeah.
But it was not the case.
It's not. It's the craziest year that we've had in our lifetime and in a lot of people's lifetimes. And to ever think that we were going to get a normal election, it's an asinine thought. Exactly. Like it just makes no sense to even have that. Where are we at this point in the night? Like because
Wisconsin was winning.
Yep.
Michigan was coming back.
Yep.
Penn was still 600 away.
Yeah, Penn was 680,000 away.
We had this conversation where, like, you know what, Penn would sound great, but like 680,000 votes is a lot of votes. It's even under 100 now.
Even though you had all of the votes in Philadelphia coming in, you just didn't think it was possible.
No,
because we didn't know at the time the amounts to which mail-in votes were going to, like, how heavily they were going to Biden.
Yep.
And then we found out that it was like 5-1. Or even higher in some cases. Some cases it was like 4-1, but it was significant. So then he makes up the ground in Pennsylvania. He makes up the ground in now Georgia, where that's 3,500 votes at this time.
Is it?
Yeah.
It was 9,000 when I got in this room, so that's pretty wicked. Yeah,
it's 3,000 something. While Trump was speaking, it dropped from 9,000 to 3,500. I swear to God, it was hilarious. North Carolina, that's going to Trump, but like even that one was close. Pennsylvania, it's at 65,000, still with votes with 11% left in
Philly, right?
Philly, and then the surrounding area, 15%.
Which is a lot of blue.
Yeah. And Pittsburgh, there's still 6%, which they said that they had like 300,000 mail-in votes still to count in Pennsylvania. So if you use that estimation, he's well above track to flip. He'll at least get the votes to go out on top from that. I don't know about the rest, if he can hold off the rest of Philly and what they have to bring back from the filling out the other counties, but
he only has to get 66% of Pennsylvania at this point.
Right. And with those mail-ins, and what he's been getting is 78 and up. In Philly, he's getting 78, but then even with the mail-ins, it's even higher than that.
Yeah.
Crazy.
unbelievable. Just unprecedented stuff, man. Like, it's not something you've seen ever.
No.
Like, not in our lives. I mean, we haven't been around long, but it's not something we've seen.
It's legitimately absolutely fascinating.
Crazy stuff. It's like we are a sports podcast, and we are 10 minutes into this, and the only mention of sports I made was the intro.
Yeah.
That's it. Like,
Yeah.
it's just crazy what it's done.
But I mean, that's the thing. Like, the entire sports world, like, Thursday Night Football at this point is meaningless. Doesn't matter.
Most of America's
half,
paying
half,
attention.
half the 49ers lineups on a COVID reserve.
Yeah, it doesn't
so,
even matter. It's a wash, the game.
On the
Yeah.
day where they set a record for COVID cases in the world with at least America, they have the most cases in the world. They set a record personally. Like, this entire election drama has been going on.
It's the only news.
Yeah.
It is. It really is. Do we have anything more to say on the election? But
We haven't
basically
even
all
made
day.
it to today's speech.
Yeah, right.
I mean, yeah, that was kind of new, right?
Okay, let's go.
We're
let's
fresh
go-
off this, too.
Let's go back
for
to
anyone listening.
yesterday morning. So then yesterday morning starts happening. Philly comes back. That starts shrinking. Not even that starts shrinking. Georgia kind of shrinks a little. Everything's shrinking, but he has a significant lead in Arizona. And then he starts with the stop the count. Stop the count. Stop vote. Like
9 a.m. this morning, he tweets out, "Stop the count," all caps. Go for it, dude.
he was saying that yesterday while he still would have lost.
He still would lose right now.
Yeah.
I'm here for it. You know what? You want to stop the count? We'll stop the count.
Yep.
That's cool. It's Biden's presidency if you stop the count right now.
Yep.
Like,
Crazy.
just, oh.
Give
so
your head a
stupid.
shake. And
so
then
stupid.
the grand finale, the creme de la creme. Joe Biden, he's been speaking eloquently this entire time, like with his just like, let's count the votes. The American
as
people have the
eloquently
right.
as he can say.
Yeah.
Because he's not a very good public speaker.
I don't know. He's still been like, he's still been good with like his,
He's fine.
with
He's
his,
okay.
with his messages that he's sending out. Like, it's a
He's-
let's
he
just get
says
through.
the
He's not.
right
He,
things.
he could be absolutely cocky
He's-
right now, like he's gonna win. He said we believe we're on
absolutely.
track to win, but he could just straight up.
He says the right things. It just takes him a little bit to get there.
Yes, I think
the
that's a fair way
problem.
because he's definitely a better public speaker for the people than Trump has ever been.
Yeah.
He's
which
a
I'll give
better
him that, but,
person
I mean,
on
yeah,
the
like
surface.
he has a hard time stringing words together sometimes, and
Sometimes.
I've kind of
He's
laughed at
old.
it, but
He's old.
yeah,
It's just,
But those speeches could not compare to the absolute show the 45th president put into place today. Holy.
we kind of pushed the start of this back just because, like, we were like, it started 6:30, and then not like minutes after we said that, they're like, oh, Trump's gonna speak at 6:30.
Wait.
So I'm like, you know what? Yeah, go for it.
So then I say
Yeah,
over under, because he
Oh,
said he's going to speak at 6:30.
this was you
I
nailed
said
it.
over under 6:45.
Spot on.
Brent was like,
I thought he would
6:40.
go under.
under 6:40.
I thought.
My call, 6:46. He came
Yeah.
out. Jeez, like it was the reason I was like, oh, he's not coming out on time. It's the one last time he has to
He
make
can
people
just
wait on him.
drag this out, and everyone has
Exactly.
to wait for
That-
you, and it's your
Mhm,
clock.
the center of attention.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
And then he came out there and spewed
Spewed
absolute bullshit. Yeah.
For was it 15 minutes?
15,
Almost
20 minutes. Yep. And then didn't answer a question because he's a coward.
It walked off. Like
Yeah.
everyone's yelling questions at him, and he just
Yeah.
thanks, walks away.
Yep.
What are we doing? How are we letting this happen? How is the Republican Party letting this happen right now?
Well, the Republican Party, they're like, shut the fuck up and don't speak because no one's backing Trump at this point from the GOP.
But they're not
At all.
stopping him from going out there. And they could have cut that off in the middle of the speech because
I mean,
it
they
was
couldn't.
just
The
ramble.
Republican Party couldn't. The president wants to talk. The president's going to talk. Like
He has people that can stop that.
They've been muzzling him basically all
Mm-hmm.
day, and to where something that I found funny was Trump's tweets were getting flagged on Twitter for spreading misinformation, which is absolutely hilarious.
It's also true.
So the things that that the Republican Party made him do was put it out in a statement with the White House, and in that way, reporters would then report it, and it wouldn't get flagged
Become
because
fact.
they're reporting what he's saying, even though it's a lie.
Mm-hmm.
The dude is just. It's funny
I haven't
because
really followed much of this, so this
there's
is all.
there's this tweet that he had. What separates the winners from the losers is how a person reacts to each new twist of fate. He had this in December 30th, 2014. How the tides have turned.
Oh, how the turntables have.
Well, how the turns.
And then Anderson Cooper and
Bro,
Jake Tapper.
not even Anderson Cooper yet. That speech finishes.
Yeah.
If you're watching the CNN broadcast, they cut to Jake Tapper right away. The first words out of his mouth, he's just, what a sad night for this country. And I'm like, he just goes from there, and it's just bop, bop, bop from Jake Tapper, and just like demoing Donald Trump. And then, like, I love it because like he's not one single thing that Jake Tapper said was wrong.
No.
Like he's not going away from fact. Like it's all true, everything he said. And here we are just fucking burying this man. I think the last thing he left them onto was great, where he's just like, I think it's time for I forget who he said, but like Trump's people to grow a spine and take a hold of this situation. Because like nobody's telling him to stop. They've let him come out and say the exact same thing in 2 straight press conferences now.
Right.
And you're not making yourself look any better. There's still a chance he wins this. It's slim, but there's a
10%
chance.
Is he not taking it to the Supreme Court?
I mean,
Yeah.
if you take it to the
Like that's
Supreme
as
Court,
far as I know.
He's already been there all week. He tried to go to the Supreme Court on Pennsylvania last week. They
I'm
lost
pretty sure
twice.
he's
In my-
taking the counts to the Supreme Court, though. Is
and
what I
he
was
is,
hearing.
but there's no chance that he wins it because how can you argue one thing in one state and then the exact opposite in another?
No, but I mean, at that point, if that's
He's not
the
winning.
play, you got to do it all across the board.
But he's not doing that.
The
No, 'cause
Supreme
he's-
Court
'cause he's
wants
saying-
nothing to do with this.
He's
But
saying,
that's where
like-
I disagree, right? Because you can't just pick and choose which states you're gonna do recounts and do
No, but that's literally what he's doing.
suing
what he
for.
wants.
Yeah, no, that's where I disagree with him 100%. Like, but
He wants to stop the count in Georgia, North
Again, like-
Carolina, and all the other places, but he wants to keep the count going in Arizona because he can come back and win that one.
is this the first time they've ever done mail-in voting?
In some instances, yes, but in others, like they've had absentee voting in some states, but the problem is like never to this quantity.
This is the most it's
Which
ever
is
been because
why
of the
I
pandemic,
feel
right?
like he has a little bit of a case, but not to the degree that he's pushing this right now.
doesn't.
Like, not
He
even
doesn't.
close. But
He doesn't.
I mean,
because
still, like
he's
we're talking
already
like
went-
mass amounts of votes.
he's already tried to take this to the Supreme Court because all of these things are decided within the state. It has nothing to do
Yes,
with
exactly.
the country as a whole. So they've already had their laws in place. And when Pennsylvania and there's a couple other places that set theirs in, and they said you can have votes come in up until Friday in Pennsylvania, and he didn't like that. Because as long as they're marked before the date, they can come in until Friday and they're going to be counted. He didn't want to hear that, so he went to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court said, no, that's their law. We have nothing to do with this. And they want no part of this.
Right.
And it's not going to change because he lost.
And the thing that messed up this whole election and why it looks optically, if you do not have a brain, you can perceive it as the election has been rigged because how can Biden come back with like 10% of the vote left in the population and Trump has this massive lead like in Pennsylvania? Well, the difference is between a state like Florida and Pennsylvania, Florida was receiving votes before November 3rd. The difference was they got to cast their ballots early and take note of them. Pennsylvania, you weren't allowed to open those mail-in ballots until the election. And then they, on top of that, said, we're not opening those until the next day because we're too busy with
They started Wednesday, right?
in-person voting. Yes, they started yesterday.
They're still not even
I mean,
close
it's
to that.
2020 though, so that's
What?
my thing.
What?
Like, this is, to me, is just a huge system failure. Where I get every state runs their own thing on an individual level. It's not consistent across the board, and I think that to me is a little bit fishy. I'm not saying it's going to have much.
This
pull
isn't
and it's
new,
gonna
though.
cause
This isn't
anything.
something that's happened for the
I
first
know.
time. Like, This extends past the date every year, but
Yeah.
the election's already decided. It's
not to this
decided by
extent.
this point.
Not to
it's
this
never
extent,
this
but
close.
like this year has been totally different. There's always been voting that carries over until the next day because calculations just can't be made. You can't,
think it was-
it's like impossible to do that.
I want to say it was Pennsylvania last year. There was a state last year that wasn't decided until 4 days after the election because
That's
they just
one
didn't have all
state.
their
How
votes
many are
counted
we
yet.
at right
No,
now?
but Moro, it's a normal thing
But-
that like they can report. They never in no election have they reported 100% of the voting on the day of the election.
No,
None.
They just call it because there's no chance in them coming back.
Exactly.
No,
The difference is
but
We're just
the
it's so
strategy
tight
how,
this year.
how the votes came in because they
Mm-hmm.
weren't counting the mail-in ballots at the same time. It can look fishy if you don't
Mm-hmm.
if you are choosing to believe it that way.
It looks bad because Trump got his entire support group to come in and actually do the in-person.
In-person, yeah.
He said, don't bother with the mail-in ballots. So there's a solid army behind that man. He still has, was it 54 million at this point? No, 60-something.
60,
Do you have the count in front of you?
68 million, I think.
As we said, it's high
69 million.
69 million people that have voted for Donald Trump, and they listen to him. And it's like clockwork, they listen to him. So they're if he says don't do the mail-in votes, come vote in person, they're gonna do that. You're gonna get very little people doing the mail-in votes, but Biden went the complete opposite route. So if you do the counts of mail-ins after, you're gonna get those votes after. It was complete opposite in Ohio, where they did the mail-in votes first,
Yep.
and
And that's
Joe
why
Biden-
it
Joe
looked
Biden was
like,
crushing
like,
Ohio.
like Joe Biden could have won Ohio.
it
and
was
then
blue
it very
for the
could
first.
not after you realized
Yeah,
in-person voting would just not going to let it happen.
They
So
murdered
here's something that's interesting with Philadelphia and like how he could actually get it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys know Erie, the county of Erie, like Erie, Pennsylvania?
Yeah, Erie, Pennsylvania.
Yeah. So that was seen as red, like it was going to be red, but now it's just flipped to blue because of the in-person voting came through. Sorry, not the in-person,
The mail-in voting.
the mail-in voting came through.
Yeah.
Like it's such a case-by-case situation that people, if they're just not trying to believe it, then they'll believe what they want. But the point I want to make is like, it's funny how people said Biden wasn't an electable person, and yet he has the most votes that a
time.
president has ever gotten.
all time.
So it's one thing to be like, oh, people won't come out
I don't.
for him, and that's just not true.
I think it's less of a pro-Biden vote as it is an
Anti-Trump vote.
I think
'Cause, like-
that's more of what it is.
I think
Yeah,
it's I think it's I
'Cause
would
I
take
don't-
it one step further. I think it's a COVID vote. How Trump
Maybe.
has absolutely mishandled the bag there. Because if Trump had handled COVID fine, and say
He wins
the
this in a
U.S.
landslide.
was slightly, let's say the U.S. was slightly worse than Canada, slightly, or even like not like just half as worse as the U.S. currently is, Trump would probably be fine. If he didn't, if COVID wasn't a thing, Trump wins this election in a landslide without a doubt. I'm like, because why would Democrats come out to vote? Because there wouldn't be a situation where
I
they'd
mean,
be that.
there's a few reasons.
Sure.
Racism's a big thing.
Sure, I understand that, but that is COVID was.
But I
on
think you're right. I
the
agree
number
with you.
1 or 2 issue for everyone coming out of in the exit polls. It was the number 1 or 2 issue. It was either the economy or
Yeah.
COVID.
Mhm.
And if the economy was going up technically with Trump, then what would you like? It would be obvious in that scenario. Yeah.
My only thing
Realistically-
is, I think it does come down to whether you're voting anti-Trump at that point,
Mhm.
because you're not voting for Biden. Because I mean,
No.
you're not vote. I mean, in my opinion, Joe Biden as a candidate is nowhere near Barack Obama.
No,
No,
obviously.
Barack
God,
Obama is a
right.
far superior option
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
over the past 2 or 3 Democratic nominees, right? So at that point, I don't think by any means is he. I'm going to say it, like, I don't think he's a superior option to Trump in terms of
Right.
what he can provide, but obviously
He's-
as a person, 100%.
Yeah.
He's
Because
not-
he's a
he's
voice
not
that's not
a-
going to belittle everybody else, the little guy, and I get
But
that.
Biden is not the great.
not a better
candidate. Biden. There was no perfect candidate, but
Exactly.
in a nation that's absolutely divided,
Divided,
the one guy
yes.
that can actually evoke emotion and can
Yes,
play with
I agree.
your
I agree.
heartstrings is Joe Biden. Like it's just a
Yes.
fact.
Yeah.
So
The-
I think he is the right
Trump
guy
was
to
a-
handle
yeah.
this current
This-
state of America.
this might sound like a hot take, but Trump was a good president terrible
Terrible.
person.
Economically, a good president,
which
but
I don't know if
how he divided the company, a very bad one.
Terrible.
I don't know if entirely the economics is due to him, because
No.
there's like a saying
It
where
was
Yeah,
doing
like-
this with Obama. And
Exactly,
then Trump
exactly.
just got a hold of it.
the first 4 years of a presidency
I
is
don't
always
know if
dependent on
that's-
the president.
can look at the
not
numbers.
necessarily
Yeah.
the case.
You
but
can look at the numbers. They show,
Yeah.
but it's fine.
that we can. I don't know the numbers.
They
so, I
literally
mean,
go
I'm-
from Bush down here to Obama sets it on a rise, and they're literally on the climb when he leaves, and then all of a sudden it just goes up a little bit more with Trump. He didn't do
Yeah,
that.
but I mean, if
He
Trump
wasn't
was,
bad.
If
He
Trump
was a
was
good-
an economical idiot, it could have just tanked, right?
No
So
one
he
said-
obviously did
no one
something to
said
at least
Donald
guide
Trump-
it in the right direction.
No one's
Yeah,
ever
he didn't
one's-
drop the ball.
No one's ever said Donald Trump isn't a smart businessman.
He has
Yes.
gone bankrupt 3 times.
Well,
Sure.
that's just a saying they all use in that kind of
Yeah.
business language, right?
Mhm. Yeah, but he was a good president in terms of the job he had to do.
Yeah, but not
But
a very good people.
He
person.
split
I
the
mean,
entire country into two.
Yeah.
This is the worst
I
it's
agree.
been since the Civil War.
Yep.
and even
that's
now,
just-
like look at the split vote right now. Like people are the nation is divided.
Is it?
Whether Trump wins or based on numbers,
I'll give you that.
it's a divided nation. Look at the vote
Yep.
counts.
Look at the popular
There's-
vote, though. Look
There's
at the popular vote.
69 million people that voted for Trump.
Oh, I understand that. There's also
It's pretty
73
divided.
million.
It's ridiculous.
I mean, how much
Just
for Biden?
wait till one of
The
them
one
gets
thing
in.
that- the
how
one
much
thing
for
I will
Biden? How
never
much for Trump?
73.
73 million versus 69 million.
That's pretty fucking close.
I mean,
It's bigger than it was Trump and Hillary.
Hillary. Yeah. So here's my thing. The one thing I will never understand is how poor people vote for Trump. I just don't get it. I don't get that at all. Huh?
He did.
Poor
Unemployment was up.
Poor uneducated people. I don't understand how they vote for Trump.
Because people
I just
just
don't get it.
talked about how unemployment was up before COVID. Like it was higher than it's been because it was on the rise and it just kept
Right.
rising. But like, I can see it. I understand. I don't see how he helps them like tax wise. Doesn't
That's what
make
I
a lot
mean.
of sense to me. But like, I guess you look at like he helped unemployment rates go up, and I don't know. It's weird. I don't understand how anyone votes for him. but-
Sure, agreed there. But my thing was like, he's not fighting for you. He's fighting for corporate America.
Mm-hmm.
And it was hilarious today in his speech how he's saying the Democrats are the media, the TV networks, and the
big
electronic
media,
companies.
big
I was just like,
tech,
what
and
the-
big
yeah,
whatever the other one was.
yeah. It was crazy. I just don't get it. It was hilarious though, like seeing Texas be close initially. Like it's,
And Florida
I mean,
was close at first.
yeah.
Florida
But
was
I
close
mean,
in
like
2016 though too.
he lost Florida because of the Cuban vote in Miami-Dade, 100%. Because Hillary ran it up last time,
Mhm.
and it was a 300,000 plus vote differential. This election, he won it by he won that county, which is the biggest
crushed
populated
Miami,
one.
right?
He won it only by 80,000, roughly.
It's crazy.
Like that basically lost him Florida alone. And then Texas, like, I don't know, 600,000 votes. That's still closer than I thought it could have been. But it's interesting.
There's not a lot of good things you can say about Donald Trump, but the guy is arguably one of the greatest leaders of all time. It sounds stupid. I understand. What he did is wrong and everything. Like a lot of his
But
policies.
no,
and shit,
it goes both
bad.
ways. That's why. Like he
He
has such a presence that he uses it as much as he uses it for good. He's used
Sure.
it for bad and belittling other people. And that's what's divided the country. It's just
Have
that's
you ever
his nature.
seen people
I don't
follow
think that-
someone
I don't
doing
think-
such ridiculous shit?
I don't think
Since,
the
like-
good outweighs the bad in this.
No.
And that's
I
where
don't think-
that's where your vote lies, right? Like
Yeah.
I don't think he's a good person. I think his morals are way off base, but he's convinced 69 million people to
He's a
follow him
cult.
into these ridiculous
Fucking
things.
cool. He is.
It's crazy.
no,
you
but
haven't seen people get so like anti other humans since like Hitler and be followed that hard.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
yeah.
some of the
There's a-
shit, like he's not Hitler, don't get me wrong. Hitler did some ridiculous shit, and
hot take.
Trump's not as bad. But
Yeah.
like, you're coming to the point where like Trump does some offside shit constantly against human rights and against people, and he's got
so's Joe
69.
Biden.
No.
Everybody, they all have a past. Don't kid.
He's not trying to build a wall to
And I'm
keep
not
people
saying
out of
that
his country.
No, but they all have.
He's
dirt.
not
They've
literally
all got-
he's not calling Black Lives Matter people terrorists.
Right.
Like,
again,
come on.
Again, I'm not trying to support.
Like, it's a
what he
human
says,
rights thing.
but no one's worse than Trump. I get
You
that,
can-
but
have-
they've all got dirt. They all do.
Sure,
Sure.
but they
Which
don't
is
have
why I
that
said
kind of dirt.
It's one
It's
pile of
different.
shit here, another pile of shit here. Which one smells worse? I get. Yeah, Biden's definitely the one that does not divide people, and he's the more likable option.
This is
for
what I'm
sure.
saying, though.
Yeah,
Is that like, yeah, you could be a good, bad
but
president.
everybody's
doesn't
got
matter.
dirt.
But like
Everybody's
this,
got dirt.
No.
when it
sure.
comes to human rights issues, Trump's bad at it.
Oh,
Very
yeah, for
bad
sure.
at it. But he still gets a ton of people to follow him. And
It's
this
not-
is where I say he's one of the greatest leaders we've ever seen.
I don't think he's one of the greatest leaders. I think he's
He
one of the
doesn't
most
lead right.
I think he's one of the most polarizing leaders we've ever seen.
He gets the following.
But I mean, like, so did
Is that not a sign of a good leader?
I mean, basically, whatever party you carry, as long as you represent them, you're gonna get a following. He has, he's incited people. Like he is,
Polarizing. I
he's
think is the
polarizing.
word.
Like
Yeah.
he's a polarizing person that can rally people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
crazy.
you're off base
crazy.
by saying he's one of the best leaders ever because
No, I
I think
get what
it's-
he means in terms
I don't-
of.
he's not
just as a,
good.
as
He's
a
one-
leader,
I think
not
one
as
of the
a
most-
Yeah.
leader
one
of a
of the
nation.
Mhm.
yeah, he's one of the best people. He's one of the most. He
He's
can
a-
rally people
just a
around-
great leader. He's not a good person.
He's a leader
doesn't-
in the sense of
That's
the
a
word
leader.
that
That's not a leader though. That's not a leader.
He gets people to follow.
I think we don't have the right word, but we're all all in agreement.
You know what I
here.
mean? Yeah.
Correct.
He's
Terrible
a
person,
polarizing figure,
incredible leader.
right?
Yeah.
And he just has that natural ability to get people to follow him. And now that because leadership is more, I think I get where Amir's point saying it's
Mm-hmm.
different because it is.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Leadership is to inspire people and get
He's
them to
inspired
do,
them. He just hasn't inspired them to do good.
and that's the thing.
Yeah, but he's inspired them to do what he wants.
Right.
That's incredible.
I think
It's
that's
incredible.
a sign of every leader though. Like
It's incredible. I don't know, man.
what president has been elected that hasn't gotten a following? Like,
Bush?
I mean, he still got a following because he got elected.
Yeah, but like after that,
I mean, but he didn't have he didn't have people hate him or despise him like they do Trump.
yeah, it's fair. It's crazy. It's wild what he can do.
Odds are getting heavier and heavier for
Last I checked, it was like minus
1800.
1200. So now it's 1800.
Yeah.
So I haven't looked at it in definitely a couple hours, but it was like at minus 1200.
Pennsylvania minus 1400 for Democrats, Nevada minus 2000, Georgia minus 700. Georgia's the one that's kept growing and growing. Georgia was like minus yesterday. It flipped from like minus 150 Republicans to and like 110 plus 110 Democrats. Now then it flipped to the opposite. So basically where it was a pick 'em. And now it's just getting heavier and heavier for the Democrats because with less than 98% left or less than 2% left of the vote and only being down 2,000 with votes still to come from the surrounding of Atlanta. So it looks like Biden can squeak it out.
Do we want to move on to sports?
Oh, yeah, we could.
I mean,
hey,
we've kind of exhausted.
Bet
everything.
365 has elections and politics
Yeah.
as
That
a
is
registered thing.
It is on the. You're right. It is on the sports gambling site. You're right. I'll give you that.
On is worth talking
You're right.
about here.
Hey,
So-
we spent 33 minutes on a country that's not even ours. Obviously,
Right.
it's big
Yeah.
news.
Right. So on the betting note,
Mm.
something I found interesting was Betfair is this European
Betfair.
gambling website, and
Mm-hmm.
Darren Ravel basically tweeted that they brought in over $500 million on it, $500 million.
In
If
Europe,
if the U.S. allowed betting to occur on this, either he or the network that he represents would estimate $3 billion being gambled on the election. Billion.
Jesus.
Fuck.
It's crazy. What else is crazy is what going on in sports because a lot of nothing.
Yeah.
A lot
Not
of
nothing.
nothing.
A lot of nothing. There's a lot of
Lucky,
days off.
lucky we have the election to talk about.
Holy
Honestly.
shit, eh? We would have had a
This would've
20-minute
been-
episode.
I really thought this was going to be a really short pod. I looked at it and I'm like, well, fuck.
Yeah, it would have been a 20-minute episode. There's nothing. Like even the stuff we have is not deep.
What do we want to talk about first? Which sport? We
You
want
wanna talk
football
about-
first or football last?
Let's do
Whatever you
football
guys-
first
Okay,
because
cool.
why not?
Sure.
I think we ended with the last.
Oh, so that's me actually. Yeah.
Yeah, you're taking over.
Go for it.
Sweet. So we left off at week 8, where I had over Amir. Just gonna pull it up here.
2 games.
A 2-game lead. So I was at 74 and 31 going into the week 8 picks. Amir was at 72 and 33. Brent 7 behind Amir at 65 and 40. I'll take us through the picks real quick. Thursday nighter we all got wrong because we all picked Carolina and the Falcons finally pulled one out of their ass.
Hey,
Lovely.
before it starts, we should pick the Thursday nighter just so we're on record.
I mean, Green Bay.
Fair. Yeah, Green Bay against half
Against
of
San Fran's
Fran,
bench.
Half of
Yeah.
San Fran. So
It's Green
safe
Bay.
to say we're going across the board Green Bay.
No, I thought you said you were taking the 49ers no matter what, Mora. You said that.
I always say it. Yeah.
Yep.
You just need picks right now on me. So as I continue, I go a +1 here in week 8 when you guys both picked Baltimore and I took the 7-0 Steelers.
Fuck. I thought we didn't lose any on that week.
Nope. Indy across the board, we got Green Bay. We all got wrong against the Packers.
Green Bay against the Packers.
The Green Bay Packers against the Vikings, rather. And the Vikings, I mean, if you're going up against Dalvin Cook in fantasy, yeah, it was that kind of day.
And I had Devontae Adams and DK Metcalf go absolutely off, and I still lost.
Yeah. So we all got that one wrong. So it was not a good start. Like Amir and Brent were both 3 and 4 for their first 4 picks, and I was 2 and 2. And then going into Buffalo and New England, me and Amir got it right. Brent took New England wrong.
Which, like, you had a chance, and Cam
Yeah.
fumbled it away.
Man, like so close. I had a little bit of confidence in that pick because I was like, that was the one I needed an underdog.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. The Patriots. Cam can do it. And Cam didn't do it. He was so close.
This one here has me baffled just because we spoke like 10 good minutes about Tennessee and how they were a legit team and they lost to the Bengals and we unanimously took them and got it wrong. So that one stung. Vegas and Cleveland. Brent chose his heart with his heart. Me and Amir chose the Raiders. That's a +1 for both of us. Kansas City over the Chiefs was a gimme.
They look bad. The Browns.
Yeah.
It was not a good game.
They didn't
But-
score much at all.
Shocker.
To be fair, in the entire week, a lot of these games are really fucking weird because the weather
Yeah.
was a nightmare.
You're right.
Absolute nightmare.
We got a lot
But
wrong
that was
this
no
week.
excuse.
I'll take us through the full scores.
It was a bad
but,
week.
Mhm.
It was a bad week.
Like the 4:00 games, here we are. Like Rams, Dolphins, we all took the Rams. Wrong. Broncos versus Chargers, the comeback. Wrong. We all took the Chargers. So going on later, and we all sweep the bottom half. So Saints and Bears, we all got New Orleans right. Seahawks, 49ers, we all got Seattle right. Cowgirls and Eagles, we all took Philly, and then Giants and Bucks, we all took Tampa. But I would like to make note of the fact that it was a pass interference call on the 2-point convert, and that's
Oh, I didn't
bullshit.
see it.
Because he was there early and they didn't,
Sure.
and they picked up the flag, and I'm salty.
it
Because
hit a
we would
defend-
have beat
'cause it
Tom
hit a
Brady
defender's
again in
hands first.
overtime.
It hit a defender's hands first, but
No, it didn't. Look at
you're
the
also
replay.
you're also putting faith in them beating the Bucks in overtime with Daniel Jones at the helm, dude.
He looked really good on that drive. Again, I know it's hit or miss because he had 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions, but
Yeah.
who knows? I'm still salty about it, but still. In the end, week 8.
Yep.
Amir 8 and 6. Brent 6 and 8. Me 9 and 5. I go to 83 and 63. 83 and 36. First place. Amir in second place is 80 and 39, 3 games behind. And Brent opens up his gap into last place at 71 and 48.
Oof.
So
Ooh,
9
I-
moves behind him. Here.
I'm like in just a mad dash for last.
Thanks for coming out.
Holy.
It'd be fun to see you come back and make it competitive, but you're
It
gonna
would
have
be
to make
very
some
fun.
off the wall takes here.
You could give Brain fucking 2 games for every 1 game we have.
I get like a bonus week where it's just I just get double points.
Last week we can double.
We might need triple at that point.
Every right
Oh.
pick in the last week is worth 2.
Yeah.
That's something to look at.
This has not been my year in this one. Eh?
Yeah.
Jesus.
So we're into week 9. Thursday night is about to start. We all go Green Bay.
Mhm.
And let's get into Sunday. So, I mean, just because it's the first one in my score app, Monday night or Sunday at 1:00, I got Giants and Redskins.
Who?
The what?
Oh, I said it again. My bad. Giants
God.
and football team.
Damn it.
Football team.
Oh, yes. He's setting the tempo early.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm also going football team. I got zero faith in the Giants.
Terry McLaurin's gonna run all over you guys.
Pardon me again on saying the old team name, but I am going to go with the Giants again.
It's hard to win a game when you turn the ball over 75 times.
I know.
I can't put faith in that.
We did it once. We can do it again. Maybe. Maybe.
We might be able to do it again.
Maybe.
Hey man, I have Slayton and Shepard. I hope they do well.
Hey,
But
Daniel
they don't do
Jones
well.
has how many games in his career so far? And in
A
every
turnover
single
in
one of them,
every
he's
one of
turned the ball.
I was gonna say he's doing great. It's great.
He only
It's entertaining.
trails Carson Wentz for the most amount of turnovers by a quarterback.
Hmm.
That's combined fumbles and interceptions. So yeah, I'm confident in my pick for sure.
Who do you guys think is the worst quarterback in the NFL this year?
Danucci.
Ben DiNucci.
Okay, we
yeah.
can't count Ben
That's a small
DiNucci, but-
sample size. But
Yeah, because like there was someone in one of our group chats put in this picture, and it was just like the NFL's worst team this year, and like they were choosing different people for different or like different teams for different positions and stuff, and they had Carson Wentz. That's
Yeah.
the worst quarterback in the NFL. This
he's turned the ball over more than any quarterback in the league.
year.
hasn't
he
been
also
good.
does a lot with it. I don't know. I thought it was an interesting choice, but
I think he's better than what the stats suggest, just because
yeah,
obviously every
I
team
think
is
he's
injured
better
and he
than-
has no weapons. But
Jimmy G.
Jimmy G hasn't played much either.
But when he has, he's had one good
It's
game
been
for every
rough.
3 bad
Yeah.
games he has.
Gardner Minshew
Yep.
He hasn't
been
looked
great.
good. We'll throw
Um,
Daniel Jones in there because who knows what you're getting from him every
What's
other
his
game.
name? Mitch Trubisky literally got benched
Played 3 games though.
and literally got benched because he wasn't
played 3
good,
games. He played 3 games.
and he's not good.
Three too many.
Like the sample size isn't there, but he did. It's not like he only played 3 games because he got hurt. He played
Yeah.
3 games because he
Different
sucks.
'cause Garoppolo's played more. Like
Yeah. Oh no, I get that.
Minshew might
But,
be
like,
the one.
Yeah,
I think so.
we're not. Do we count Andy
12
Dalton?
picks. 12 picks for Wentz. He's got 12 and 12.
12 and then 4.
Now-
he's got 4 fumbles lost,
Now, Daniel Jones.
10 interceptions, 4 fumbles lost.
10 interceptions. I had 9, so even worse than that.
Oh, was it 9 then? I don't know.
I think it's 9. So only 7 touchdowns on the year.
that's a problem.
That
yeah.
ratio's not good.
He's
That's
got
what I mean. I thought it was interesting.
the least out of the quarterbacks that have played significantly. Like Cam has less, but he was out for
He also, yeah,
yeah,
he's out and he gets
and then he was
touchdowns
rushing
at least
touchdowns.
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
offset
Exactly.
it.
He is rushing
Exactly. The only starting quarterback, well, even Sam Darnold was hurt. So, yeah, least touchdowns among quarterbacks. Your boy,
Nice.
Daniel Jones.
And I'm rolling
thought-
with them. I'm
I
not
thought
changing
Carson
anything.
Wentz was an interesting one.
It is.
Yeah,
No,
sorry.
it is. It is. He hasn't been good. What is
Next, Broncos Falcons.
Falcons?
God damn, man. I don't know what the
Falcons.
fuck
Falcons.
you think about the Falcons.
I never know what to do with the Falcons, honestly.
100%. I wanted to take the Falcons on Thursday last week.
I know you did. And they fucking just held up. Teddy sucks.
I told you he's not good. I told you he's. Like,
I miss
at
vintage
best-
Teddy.
At best, he's an
God
average
damn.
QB.
Like he was okay in that game. Obviously, he's hurt. There was something wrong with him. He took a big hit in that game. But
Teddy's
like that
not even a-
turnover to end the game, there's no like
Teddy
you don't even
isn't
have a
even
receiver in the area.
The upside of Teddy is what? Prime Andy Dalton, and he's not even there.
No, he's just that turnout, like I had faith in Teddy all year.
I'm gonna go Atlanta just because I don't want to lose a game on
Yeah.
there for a stupid pick.
Pussy.
I took the Giants. That's
It's
my
fair.
underdog
That is-
pick.
that is
Get
fair.
some.
That is fair. I'm gonna take the Falcons, and I'm not gonna feel good about it.
I'm fine losing this pick as long as we're all losing it together. That's the only reason.
Fuck off.
If you want me to lead off on another pick, I'll do it. So,
Go
next I got Bills Seahawks.
Seahawks.
I
Easy.
think that's
The
a
Bills
fair
suck.
one.
Sorry,
They
they suck.
I don't know. They
I don't
suck,
understand.
but-
I don't understand what they do. Like they
Mhm.
just abandon the run game every
Hey, Zach
time.
Moss had 2 touchdowns last game.
But they abandoned like the Jets game. I just didn't get. They didn't run it at all basically. And when they
in
ran
like
it,
the
it was
first
Josh-
20 minutes of scrimmage or something.
yeah, Josh Allen was the only guy to either run the ball. Like
Josh
no
Allen,
running
I'm
back.
pretty sure Josh Allen has more rushing attempts than their running backs almost
Yeah.
every game.
100%, probably. I'd believe that. I think the Seahawks, like their offense is so legit, and Buffalo's defense
Yeah.
it hasn't been as dominant as it has in the past. I
The
think.
Seahawks defense is
class.
poo,
Yep.
Yeah.
but I
No, I
have more
agree.
faith in their offense than I
I'm
do
betting on
theirs.
Russell Wilson. I'm not picking against
Yeah.
Russell Wilson. Like
Josh
9
Allen's
times
also
out of 10.
on a absolute ice cold streak right now of games. He has
Yep.
not been good lately. So,
Yep.
Don't bet against the MVP.
Hey, I mean, to be fair, this was our conversation a couple
I was
weeks
gonna say
back.
something.
I mean, it's worth.
This should have been a
mentioning.
marquee game if we were looking week 3 and looking forward to this one because Josh Allen started so well and
Yep.
Russ was doing what he's still doing.
Mhm.
And it would have been a great game, but I don't have faith in Josh Allen anymore.
So
minus 2,000.
I'm just checking for underdogs at this point. So you guys still need one, but
Yep.
moving
Yeah, yeah.
on, we got
No
Colts and Ravens. Baltimore across the board, unless you guys are got any
You know what?
surprises.
The odds are
Very
interesting
close.
because of Baltimore's dealing with COVID issues.
Are
right.
they?
Marlon Humphrey, I think he has COVID.
Also, who was
Patrick
it
Queen.
who was it that got
Um,
hurt last week? The guy they just signed for like
Offense,
6
defense?
years, $7
Oh,
billion.
Ronnie Stanley, the left tackle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stanley, yep.
It's a
Yeah.
big loss.
Yep. Baltimore.
I'm still taking Baltimore.
Yeah.
I will not bet on Phillip Rivers. I'm sorry.
No, not a noodle
He,
arm.
he
You
manufactures
Fucking
ways to lose.
Cincinnati. Was it last week that no, it was the week before when
Hmm.
Cincinnati just basically blew the game to Indianapolis.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
Texans are a 7-point favorite in this one. Texans and Jags. I mean, these are two
Texans.
teams that have really stunk.
Jags don't
Texans.
have a quarterback. I don't think
Yeah.
Minshew's not playing
Minshew's
this
not
week.
Minshew's not playing. Chark's already pissed with his
It's-
volume. Like it's a mess there.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'll go Houston as well. Panthers Chiefs.
CMC's back. That's cool.
Is it? I know he's practicing in
It's
full. So
not
that's a good
confirmed,
start.
Oh, so
but,
it's
like,
not.
it's-
So they're not going to lose by 2 touchdowns. Instead, it'll be 10 and a half.
Yeah. It's like I like the Panthers and I
Next.
love CMC.
We know what it
not gonna
next. It's
happen.
Chiefs.
Fair enough.
Hey, the Chiefs
Vikings-
lost this year.
I guess
Sure.
yeah.
It could happen. It's not
It could.
gonna, but it could happen.
Are you taking them or not?
CMC? No, God, no.
Donald Trump could also come back in the election. But-
Yeah,
Um,
it's the same idea.
Lions Vikings.
damn
This one's off the board, so I don't know.
I'm gonna go Minnesota. I'll lead
I'm
us
going the
off.
Lions because I'm not betting on Kirk Cousins.
Fair.
Minnesota.
Dalvin Cook's there, but
Minnesota, best player in the game. Why would I not?
So Brent has
It's
his underdog.
is it? All right.
I would assume so.
Yes, they're a 4-point favorite. The Vikings are. Bears Titans.
Hold on. Oh wait, hold the fuck up. No, I'm not taking. Matt Stafford's on COVID.
Yeah.
Never
Oh,
mind.
that's a valid
But never
point.
mind. I'm back.
Welcome.
Yeah, no, Vikings. I forgot about that.
Bears Texans. Bears are a 6-point underdog.
Didn't we say?
No, we didn't.
Did we say the Titans earlier?
Bears Titans. No, it's Bears Titans.
I was
Bears.
gonna say.
Who did I
like-
say? Texans. I always
Yeah.
get them. Yeah, Titans rather.
Titans.
I'm like, holy shit! The Texans got to play 2 games in 1 week.
Yeah, poor them.
Oh,
Titans.
Bears,
Titans across the board. Chargers Raiders.
Who do you
1
have as the
point-
favorite in this one?
On the score, I've got 1-point Chargers. So
I don't think
know.
we gave the Bears enough credit here. Time. The Bears nearly won last week, eh? Like
Yeah.
they took that to overtime and had a chance to win the game. They're a football team. Like I understand nobody wants to believe it.
Right,
They're good.
The Saints without Michael Thomas. Right.
They've been without Michael Thomas this whole year.
Uh-huh.
And they're still 6-2 or whatever they are.
Didn't they
Yeah,
have
but they
like
don't look
Emmanuel
like them.
Sanders out too? Like they had
Yeah,
nobody.
they
They've
no
had him
receiver.
out for 3 games.
Which is why like
They still won without him.
which is
they
why it
can't
didn't
muster any
succeed.
offense.
That they had points. They just got
But they can't muster any offense.
The Bears are good. Bears are a good team. They're not going to win this week, but they're a good team. I have more faith.
I think they're fine. I think they're fine.
I think they can steal a win against the Titans.
I think they're fine. I don't think that they're a good team. I don't think that they're a bad team though either.
I think they're a good team. Stand by it.
Okay, so you're taking the Bears or not?
No, we don't give them enough credit. I think people shred on them
Who's
too
a better
much for what
team,
they are.
the Texans or the
The
Bears?
Titans?
The Bears.
Or
No,
Bears?
the Texans or the
Oh, you're
Bears.
actually talking Texans right now.
The only reasons I have faith in the Texans is Deshaun Watson.
Right.
That's it.
And I'd still take the like if in a
Who's-
hypothetical.
who's-
Nick
Who's
Foles
better
has
at-
an inept
Who's
ability to
better
win
at their
games.
job? Who's better at their job, Deshaun Watson or Khalil Mack?
Khalil Mack.
And for that reason, I'm taking the Bears.
Really? I think
I also trust Nick Foles to win games more than I do Deshaun Watson,
They
which
spent
is
how many-
wild because Deshaun
spent-
Watson's a better quarterback.
They spent
But
how
Nick
many
Foles
picks?
doesn't lose.
How many picks on Laramie Tunsil?
yeah, they're stupid.
And the Dolphins are laughing. The Dolphins are laughing with that.
Of
fourth
course,
overall
because
pick.
Tunsil sucks. Tunsil's not
And-
good.
It took them how long to figure out that Bill O'Brien was not the answer? I mean, this is just a big case of we got to catch up on everything he's fucked us on. They already got rid. Like, I mean, he could really use a guy like DeAndre Hopkins right now because they already wanted to move
really?
on from Fuller, and Fuller was giving the because we also didn't mention, but like it was the trade deadline, right? Not a lot happens just because that's just the nature of the deadline. Like nothing major, but like you can see like Will Fuller was like pretty pissed,
Right.
right? Like he was sending like
Okay.
that gif of
Yeah. Just
like
waiting.
the kid like waiting, pressing his fingers, right? So, moving on though, I've got Raiders and Chargers. So that was the one I brought up. 1-point favorite for the Chargers. Herbert's looked really good in a lot of games so far.
Favorite
so.
for the Chargers?
Yeah.
Yep, 1 point.
Yo, give me the Raiders.
Unless you guys got
take
anything
that.
different.
I'll take the Raiders.
Tomorrow.
Raiders for Brent.
That's going to be my underdog. I feel confident in that one. They're a good team.
I mean, you already have an
Vegas.
underdog. Or you don't anyway.
I didn't take Detroit.
No,
That was
he's
gonna.
got
Tomorrow?
that would be his for. Oh, you want last pick here?
You
Okay,
don't last pick here.
I'm gonna go with Justin Herbert.
Fuck! Here's the problem. I want to pick the Chargers. I like the Chargers more, but I don't see an underdog pick left. That
And
I
that's
like-
why I did it.
that I like more than the Giants. Like in that game.
Come with me.
Oh, I'm coming with you, Raiders.
Oh, boy.
Nice.
Don't you be
Um,
saying nice. You just wait until we kick your ass.
Herbert wins
Perfect.
games. Herbert scores points. Chargers just find a way to lose.
They
the game.
find no. Yeah, I agree. Herbert puts them in great positions to win, and then they blow, and then the defense blows it, and just
right,
it's just even when Phillip Rivers was there,
right.
and I'm not trying to compare him to Phillip Rivers because Phillip Rivers would always be
Phillip
coming from
Rivers
behind
has
trying to
never-
find a way.
Yeah, Philip
to-
Rivers has never looked this good.
Phillip Rivers was always chasing the game, and he'd throw a red zone interception just when they got so close to tying the game or winning it on that drive. Like it complete
Incredible
opposite.
ability. Incredible. He's great.
Dolphins, Cardinals.
Cardinals. Tua
Credit-
looked
credit to
Tua looked
Miami, though.
okay. Tua
Credit
looked
to
okay.
Miami,
Their
though.
defense, dude, last
Your
game,
defense is legit.
real good.
But so here's the problem. If Gaskin wasn't hurt, I would have potentially taken the Dolphins, but him being hurt changes that to
and
where
Seattle's
like I just
playing.
don't see where the offense comes from unless they just trust Tua.
And I
Cardinals
mean,
are off a bye week,
Devontae
right?
Parker's got Patrick Peterson this week, so I mean, their burner is
Even though Patrick
he's got a
Peterson's
tough-
like,
He's
eh,
not what he
no.
used to be.
no,
Yeah.
but it's
Um,
still a tough cover.
right.
Cardinals are coming off a bye week. Am I wrong?
Cardinals are yes,
Yeah. So it's the rest.
they're fresh.
They
Packers
look
are
great
ahead
against
right
the
now.
Seahawks.
I'm sure Amir already saw it.
What? Yeah,
Devontae Adams.
So
Yeah.
here's the thing. I totally forgot that I had a stake in this game because of Adams, and because I see my phone light up, I'm like, oh, did I start Jamal Williams in my other league or something?
no.
Like, what did I do? And then I just saw, I was just like,
Oh, Aaron Jones is playing. Yeah, he's got 2 rushes, 17 yards. So he did end up playing.
so
Okay.
happy boy already.
Yeah, nice. Moving on. Steelers and our favorite, the Cowboys. Steelers are a 14-point favorite. I love to see it.
Should we bet the spread here?
Mm,
Are the Steelers legit?
the
Like,
defense is
are-
mean.
Are they
It's
a 7-0
mean
team?
defense.
I don't know anymore. Because
The Steelers mess up at some point. They're not going undefeated. Like they
No, but
just
they're.
don't-
I think they are legit. Are they?
I think they're
are they
legit.
complete enough?
Okay, on a field, neutral site. Who are you taking? Steelers, Chiefs. Chiefs. It's not even a question. It's
No,
not
yeah,
a
you're
question.
But it's a good game. Yeah, I'm taking the
Oh,
Chiefs, but it's a
absolutely.
good game. It's a very
But,
good
like,
game.
They're legit. They're legit. They're 7-0, but they're still not the favorite in the AFC.
They were also one pass away from losing that game last week. Like
It's
if
about-
Lamar Jackson
yeah,
completes that
right.
pass.
But you're also going up against. You're talking about like 1-2, 1-3 in all of the
Right,
AFC.
right.
So that could be a potential AFC.
Oh, what was the
final
question
game.
that you were asking? Right? Like, are they
Are they legit?
a legit
Yeah.
7-0 team? They're not. They're not
I
a
don't-
legit 7-0 team.
No.
From the standpoint of, if you're 7-0, you're basically thought of as the AFC favorite. They're not.
Are they better than the Titans?
Yes. Yeah. They beat them.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, they did.
The Titans.
Did?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
They
after
did.
the
What was
bye
the game
week.
that? Sorry, I was thinking of the Houston game where
Yeah.
Derrick Henry won in overtime. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think like
They beat
but, like
beating teams. I mean, they beat Baltimore. They beat Tennessee. Everybody else is a walk. Giants are a walk. Denver's a walk. Houston's been a walk. Philly, Cleveland. Cleveland didn't even show up.
Hey.
And this was their first test, and they passed it. It was a tough game, and it came down to the wire, but they passed it.
right.
Right. I mean, moving on. I mean, they got Dallas,
wasn't good.
Cincinnati, Jacksonville, Baltimore
It's gonna be a
again,
bloodbath. It's gonna be a bloodbath.
Washington. They're on for like 14-2.
hmm
Yep.
that Baltimore game's going to be big.
But they can be a 14-2 team, and I still,
And you're still taking the Chiefs.
I
Yes.
just don't have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have faith in them. Like I
which
don't know.
is which is
even
why
now.
when the question was asked, are they legit 7-0? In record, they are, but in your mind of thinking about them,
I think they're the two.
they're not.
If
ahead of-
you run
they're
it
not
back
head and
again,
shoulders over
If you
the
run it
rest
back
of
again and you
the
give me
league.
Titans Steelers, I'm probably taking the Titans. Like I know they beat them, but like I have more faith in that Titans team than I do the Steelers.
Cincinnati just beat the Titans.
right? Cincinnati can score. Like
Joe Burrow's he's
Joe Burrow's
good.
good. Yeah.
He's good.
But the Titans.
Team has an inept
Well,
ability
I
to lose,
understand.
but
Every team can have a bad week. The Pittsburgh's gonna have a bad week.
Kansas City lost it. Who did Kansas City lose to?
the
That was Not a
Raiders.
good. Yeah.
The Raiders, yeah.
Like teams have bad weeks.
Any given Sunday, man.
No, but that being said, I still trust the Steelers as my number 2 pick coming out of the AFC.
I agree. No,
And
I
on any given day, they can beat the Chiefs if they stick to the
At
game.
7-0, they have to be the number 2. They're probably going to be the number 2 pick at the
my
AFC.
trustworthy rankings right now, it's Chiefs, Steelers, Gap, and then probably the Ravens.
Do you think there's a gap?
I do think there's a gap between the top.
I think you're a bounce away. Like you're one bounce away from winning that
But
game.
here's
to
the thing:
Ravens. I
Lamar
don't know if it's
Jackson
that
hasn't
big.
looked good throwing the
He's
football
been
all year,
so bad,
No.
so bad this year.
and Hollywood Brown was right to voice his frustration.
Mhm.
Like the 2 targets that he had was in the end zone.
Mhm.
Hollywood Brown is in a red zone threat. What are we doing here?
Yep.
Why are you looking
Yeah,
at
you're
Willie Snead like on all your passes? Willie Snead, good receiver, but on a great team, he's like your third option.
He was a third option on
New Orleans,
New Orleans.
right? He
You think
should
Des
be the
Bryant
third
plays a game
option
there?
in third, fourth, or fifth option in the Baltimore offense,
Do you-
and yet
do
he
you-
was looked at as the first. You got to target
Yeah.
Hollywood Brown and Mark Andrews. I'm not just saying that because they're on my fantasy team.
No,
I'm saying
but
that 'cause it's
you're
a
talking
fucking
about
fact.
2 good guys that can
Because
run
it's a
after the
fact.
catch.
Yeah,
Do you
Yeah.
think Des Bryant gets a game in this year?
I do. I do.
Do you?
Yeah. Yeah.
I do. 100%.
How soon?
Why- Maybe
Like, do you
he
think
gets
it's, like-
activated next week.
You think?
I think he gets
Within
signed-
the next 2 weeks, I think
yeah,
he'll
I think
at least
within the
get
next 2 weeks he
he'll
gets
get he'll get him in there. I don't know how prominent a figure he's going to
Yeah.
be in the offense and what kind of role he gets, but
He'll play
I
a
think
role.
yeah, I'm with Amir. He's in there. at some point and in some
Interesting.
capacity.
I'm interested to see what Des Bryant can be. He was still good when he was like the
He was
last season
fine.
he had.
He's not old. Like, I
No,
mean, there's still
no.
players way older than Des Bryant that are still, Golden Tate, I want to say is older than
Is he?
Des Bryant, and he's still playing, right? Like,
Yeah, I'm interested because it's a good offense. Obviously, and they'd have
Right.
different weapons. It'd be interesting to see him in that.
Des Bryant is 32 years old,
Yeah.
and Golden
that's not bad.
Tate,
Fitz is definitely older than that.
Yeah, Fitz is.
Golden Tate, same age,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah.
it's
There's
it's
no
still-
reason Des Bryant could not be a wide receiver 3 in the league right now.
Yeah.
On that Baltimore team.
Yeah.
He'd be like the fourth or fifth option in that offense. I'm like, that's absolutely fine. What's the next game, Moro? So because we're all taking the Steelers.
Yeah, no, we're down to Sunday nighter and Monday nighter. So Saints and Bucks.
Bucks.
See, this one's contingent.
If Michael Thomas
If Michael
plays.
Thomas plays, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'll
I don't think
allow.
he's gonna play.
I think this one's a fair one to go takesies backsies on, just because who knows right now? It's still early.
Uh-huh.
If you know what, fuck it. Either way, I'm going the Bucks. I think the relationship between Thomas and that team is real sour right now. I think it's not going to be too great, even if he plays.
Is AB?
And
Yeah, is
the
AB
Bucks are
playing?
looking good. Like,
AB's playing.
dude, Gronk has arguably
He's
been a top 2 tight end the last 3 weeks.
he's been unreal.
Unbelievable. He has three straight weeks with a touchdown.
Fluke touchdown last week, but continue.
You're a Giants fan.
I know.
Just
I'm
stop.
just kidding. I'm just playing.
But still, he has 3 touchdowns last 3 weeks. Like, guy's good. Obviously, there's weapons around him, and you're getting AB.
He came into the season with the mindset, I'm going to be a good blocker.
Yeah.
And I think it's catching everybody by surprise because that's so Tom Brady, and you would say Belichick, but he's not there. But it's so Belichick for them to say,
brain.
let's make him think he's just there to block and just be a name. And the first 3 weeks, everybody's like, yeah, Gronk's
Did
not what he
nothing.
was,
He
and
did
now he's
nothing.
just flourished.
I dropped him.
He's gone off.
I dropped him, and I picked him back
Yeah.
up because guy's been cruising.
Uh,
He's looked really good.
yeah.
I got to submit a pick for this game, and we almost beat them. Like, fuck. I don't know who to
A
pick.
lot of teams have almost beat the Bucks. They just find ways to win. It's weird.
I don't
It's
think
that
the
Tom
Bucks are
Brady
that
style.
good.
I don't
Is
know.
Chris Godwin playing?
I'm not sure.
Not sure.
I'm looking it up.
Do you care?
Limited. I do.
You have so many
Questionable
other
with a
wide
finger
receivers on that team.
injury.
Yeah, because he broke his finger or something.
Limited at practice, so we'll
Yeah.
know tomorrow.
Right.
Um,
Like right now, I'm taking the Bucks. That could absolutely flip, and then that would be my underdog pick, and then I would flip back to the Chargers.
oh yeah, do you have you took
the
the
Raiders.
Raiders, so yeah, you have an underdog.
yeah. I think it's Bucks all around right now. How can it not be? Right? Or Brant?
'Cause I took the Bucks.
you
but I
guys
think the
both
Saints-
took Bucks. I'm pondering here.
Wow.
The Saints haven't impressed me this year.
No, they're not good.
They're-
The
like,
defense sucks.
When they have Michael Thomas, they're just their offense just goes to another level.
Yeah, he doesn't want to be there though.
I want to take Michael Thomas and the Saints. But if he doesn't play, I'm changing my pick. I'm making that. Mine is with
So
Michael
only in
Thomas
that
the
scenario.
line.
So only in that scenario, you're
If
switching.
Michael Thomas plays in a full role, and where he's
Okay,
not,
hold
he
on.
might be limited. Like a fully healthy Michael Thomas with that, I'm picking them.
He's not
Yeah.
fully healthy. They don't even know he's going to play.
Okay, so you're picking them, only
Yeah.
contingent on that.
Yeah.
All right, so then we'll lock the picks in then. Okay. Cool.
Pats Jets. What a Monday nighter.
Pats.
Pads.
I'm surprised. Like these have been some really ugly primetime games. Like
Mondays are easy.
the Giants have had 2 primetime games in the past 2 weeks: a Thursday nighter and a Monday nighter. How does that happen?
So, yeah, I don't know how, but you guys want to know the funniest part of Moro's pick?
Mm.
And he better be praying that Michael Thomas plays in that game so he can, or doesn't play, so he can switch back. Alvin Kamara's hurt. Hey,
No.
yeah, let's go.
Oh, what?
Let's go. Let's
Like
go.
how hurt?
He missed practice with a foot injury.
He doesn't even come up. I was looking at the injury list on the
He's gonna
score.
play.
He
He's
doesn't
gonna
even come up.
He banged his foot on the corner of his bedpost, but his foot hurts,
Oh my
and he
God.
missed practice.
Hold on.
Miss a game. Miss a game.
I'm-
Do it.
Okay, like that's. Thanks for telling me. What the hell?
No, that's exactly why we need to make up games.
Yeah, we ain't giving you information.
Yeah,
I didn't know the information, but
I mean,
he practiced in full today. Like
whatever.
he's fine.
practice in full. Yeah, I mean, whatever.
nah,
Yeah, it's
his
fine.
foot's fucked. He's toast.
Yep.
Trade him.
That's it going into week 9.
That's
So-
football, baby.
We don't differ on a lot here. I mean, I took the Giants to
We got two
you
different
guys taking the football teams. You guys took the Raiders to me taking the Chargers.
Do Amir and
I'm
I?
taking New Orleans to you guys taking the Bucks. Everything else
Amir and
is
I
the
are the
same.
exact same, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Look at you guys holding hands.
Yep.
So I'm not making up any ground on Amir. That's not going to be great.
No, but we're gonna bring.
We're
Mora
going
back
for
to the
first.
pack.
I'm not going for second. I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah, we're bringing Mora back to the pack.
So I really grow my lead. B, we split, and it's like a 2-1 for either of us.
C, you have a 1-game lead.
Or B, I really
C.
Someone
Or
has to
B.
make up a game.
Can't
for
be-
What's happening here?
It
So-
can't be B. There can't be 2 Bs.
or
B
C,
or
rather.
B?
A, I mean 1, 2, and 3.
B,
or
this
A, B, and
happens.
C.
B, this happens, or B, this happens.
A, Z, Q,
Hashtag.
4. Yeah. $, apostrophe. That's all I got for
Quotation
football.
mark.
I'm just rambling here. What's whatever you guys got next?
All right, let's talk MLB and MLB free agency
Okay.
because it's interesting, man.
Hey, Trevor Bauer's trolling the Jays.
Yeah, there's that bit.
Are
There's-
are the Blue Jays a player this offseason?
So
There's
Here's
30
what-
players.
here's something I wanted to bring up. A writer for or teams perceived by rivals as likely to spend significantly this offseason. Blue Jays, White Sox, Giants, Mets. It's not like that's in alphabetical order.
Blue Jays, White
Mhm.
Sox, Giants, Mets.
So it's in some sort of order, and this is for SNY. The Yankees, like one of the New York
Obviously, the Jays are going to have their hand in the mix. I think if you're contending at all, you should have a thought
there's
of
no
going after
reason to
Trevor
stop.
Bauer right now.
There's no reason to stop spending at this point.
No, you're close. Just finish it off.
What's management saying? Are they giving the go ahead? Or like
what
what's office saying to management right now in terms of the go ahead?
What is Roger saying to Mark Shapiro right now?
That's what I'm. Yeah, that's my
He needs
question.
an extension,
What's going on? Like,
don't
why is he not signed yet?
So is he unsigned or is he on
He's
his last year?
like he done. He's got no contract right now.
Interesting. That's funny.
And like there's talk, like he said they're both interested in having like a return. Like he wants to come back and they want him back, but it's their season's been done like 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been a very progressive,
pretty-
very highly progressive season for them. Like,
Like
they've
you
done
don't need
great
him right
steps.
now, obviously, because Atkins is kind of in charge. But Shapiro's a guy you kind of want helping make these decisions, and it's weird that free agency is underway, right? Like it's not.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
It started already, and you don't have your president yet.
Right.
It's weird.
It is. I'm trying to see just to confirm if he's has a year left.
Atkins has a year left. Shapiro's done. I already looked this up last couple weeks ago.
Interesting.
It's weird that they offsetted their contracts.
I
Well,
swear
they were
they-
brought on together, weren't they?
Well, the thought,
were
I don't
given-
know. The thought process I've heard is that they were going to extend him for another year and then just reevaluate everything at the end of next year.
Mhm.
Because then you can see if you need a whole new front office, which I don't think you do, but it's weird. I don't know. It's strange that they're in this situation. They could be in a nice situation at shortstop, though.
Also,
know.
there could be a situation with Shapiro where they just don't announce anything, and it's just been something that's been agreed upon, like a
It's like a handshake
exactly, like that, and also like there's been times where they just add a year to a deal, basically, and nothing's been said.
I think that's
yeah.
what I've.
Like
It's weird
there
that it
was-
hasn't happened yet, though.
there was that MLB Network article, like with 9 bold moves, and it was basically the Jays signing Trevor Bauer and then trading for Francisco Lindor, which like is crazy, but also Is it?
I don't see why not. I like Bo at short,
Right.
obviously. I'm a
I
big
like
Bo
Francisco
fan.
Lindor a lot more.
I do like Francisco Lindor anywhere on the diamond at this
Right.
point. Like they're all pretty versatile. I don't hate
Mhm.
moving Bo to second. He doesn't want to, but he'll do it.
Mhm.
I don't hate moving Lindor to second. I don't hate moving Lindor to third. Like there's options there, man. Like he's a versatile player. He's arguably one of the best leadoff hitters, I could say. I don't know if he'd hit leadoff on this team, but
Lindor might have hit.
he could hit third. He
Yeah.
could hit second. He can hit a lot of spots in
Anywhere.
your lineup.
Yeah.
I'd be naive to say the Jays are leading the pack and trying to go for him.
I
There's
think
a lot of teams that could
trading
use him.
for him though, like
Mhm.
I think they should be one of the top like 3 teams that are able to do it.
They
like-
have the prospect pool.
Yep, and they
Mhm.
have a want to win right now while the Red
Mhm.
Sox are down.
Mhm.
Like they are.
Mhm.
So like this is the exact time that you should be striking.
Yep.
Is it within the realm of possibility to bring in both him and Trevor Bauer, or is it a
I mean,
reach?
I think it's a bit of a reach just to say both. I think
It's less.
I
It's
do
less
think
of a
they
reach
have
than some
one-
teams.
I think they have one big move in them. I think they could get like one or the other. I don't think that they do both.
They have the money because Rogers, as a communications company, didn't get hit as hard
Right.
as a lot of these owners did. So they
Fair.
have the money to spend.
hmm
Whether or not they want to use it. The thing is, too, is if you're not going to have fans and if you're not even going to play in
If the
Toronto
revenue's
next year,
not coming in, you're not dishing out coin.
Right.
yeah. But if you sign them for a 10-year deal, you have 8 years worth of people showing up to see, especially if you win a World Series in a year or two.
But you can't rely on signing both Lindor to
No.
a trade and extension, and then
Yeah.
also Bauer to a big ticket.
No.
Like that's
Yeah.
just that's unrealistic to me,
Mhm.
even though I want it to happen. One of the other names that have been thrown out there is DJ LeMahieu because LeMahieu had interest in the Jays before he signed with the Yankees, and that would be I think that's actually a good fit because you either put him at second or you put him at 3rd,
Mhm.
and you're laughing.
Or
because,
you put them at first.
I mean, I'd
You know,
rather
it would make a real interesting decision to see Vlad at DH as if you had
Wasn't
a
he the
first
batting
baseman like
king
DJ LeMahieu.
this
Yeah,
year?
he
I
was.
mean, but like,
Yeah.
look, DJ's
Yeah,
He's
still
won
like
in both years or in both leagues now. What's that?
he's still a good fielder. Like I
Everything.
don't understand why you wouldn't put like he's a better fielder than Kevin. I don't understand why you wouldn't put him at second or third
True.
because they
Right.
need help everywhere. Put him at third, and he'll be better than anything we have.
Mhm.
Uh,
And he can hit everything.
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 He's been really good, and that would be like I know MLB Trade Rumors. They have this yearly article where they predict free agency, and they predicted the Jays sign him to a 4-year, $68 million deal, which is a little heavy on the books, but you know,
I think it's what he's worth. But
yeah, it's like a little. What is that? $16.5 million?
would you
I-
say 60 and 60?
16.5
Oh yeah, never mind. I was
per year,
sorry.
which is a little much for a 32-year-old, but I mean
He's getting better.
right,
Like it's not like he's slowing down. He's
right,
going up in his career right now. So who knows?
right. Glove maybe getting worse, but his bat's even as bad as
It's the
as
best
good
it's
as it's ever been. Yeah.
Interesting idea. Probably gonna get hate. Do you see Marcus Stroman coming back to this team?
I would be down for it because it'd be a cheaper deal than Trevor Bauer.
Mhm.
And Bauer
His
has
numbers
flash
career
in
aren't.
the pan,
Mhm.
like stuff. I'd be down. I'd be fine
Career-
with it. I don't think
Stroh's.
it's not as high of a move,
No,
like a high leverage of a move. Like
it might be for Jays fans. Some Jays fans. A lot
Yeah.
of Jays fans don't like him, but a lot of Jays fans do like him.
Mhm.
I like him. I don't. I got no problem with Stroman, especially if he comes back here on a deal that you don't hate.
right,
Yeah.
Why not? Right? Like he loved being here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
His only
Obviously, there's
shtick
some
was the locker room with Aaron Sanchez, as far as I
Oh.
remember, right?
and Randall
No,
Grichuk, right?
Grichuk. Yeah.
Was Grit? Yeah, Grichuk was involved in that
Yeah,
too.
never mind.
So
That'll hurt. Hey, you could trade Grichuk though.
yeah,
His
I'd be
value's
down
pretty
for
high
that.
right now.
I'd be down for that.
Who would be
I-
more valuable to the team, though? Is my question.
Stroman.
Stroman.
No doubt.
Stroman.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I'd be 100% here for it.
interesting.
I'd rather sign Walker to a cheaper deal though. Taijuan
Mhm.
Walker. Like I like the idea of him coming back on like a 1-year $10 million deal. Like, why not?
Of the Blue Jays' long list of free agents, who do you think comes back? Because obviously Chase Anderson's not coming back now.
Which I told you was
Because they
I didn't
released
like
him.
the move from the start.
fine.
But you know,
Yeah.
who's a free agent? I'm trying to think.
Shu, Ray,
Possible.
VR,
Nope.
Taiwan,
Possible.
Panic.
I wouldn't hate it.
Shaw's not, right? Shaw's got another year.
If they want to tender him. Oh no, he's a guarantee. He's arbitration eligible. So if they want to, if they want him, they have him.
I thought there was one. Oh, Ken Giles.
He's got Tommy John. I don't see why
so-
he would. Yeah,
He wouldn't sign
he's
until
out.
next year.
he could.
Do you see him coming back next year?
Well, they could sign
that
him
a
to
guy
a deal with contingencies for next year, right? Like
Right.
you sign him in advance of that,
Mhm.
just as like a good faith thing.
Mhm.
Probably not, but you never know. Anthony Bass, that's one that
Oh, Bass.
I'd like him back.
Mhm.
Caleb Joseph, I think he's back in a coaching role if he
Player
wants.
coach role?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he wants
Absolutely.
it. Basically the same role he had this year.
Yeah.
Wilmer Font, see ya.
He's gone. He's signed in Korea.
Okay, so gone.
Yeah.
Cool. But yeah, that's my thoughts. You want to take a look at the top 50 free agents and just say yay or nay if you're interested on them with the Jays?
50? 50's a lot.
No, not obviously the 50, like the top 10.
Okay.
Trevor Bauer, yeah.
Yes.
JT Realmuto,
See, JT Realmuto's an interesting one to me because he's the top 3 catcher in the MLB. If you don't want to
Yeah.
say he's the best, whatever.
he's
I think
top 2 and he's not 2.
yeah. Yeah. And yes, but there's a lot of catcher depth here.
Why?
And unless you want to use that,
why invest in a catcher, right? Why?
precisely.
They did that once, did they not?
Russell Martin.
It was
Russ.
Russell Martin way back
And it-
when.
It worked,
Worked.
but
It did.
It's a high gamble.
JT Realmuto's also never made the playoffs.
He's all
Nope.
no, because it's Miami. and then
Miami,
Philly.
Philly. Yeah, no. So like that.
But
No
he's
shit.
also the one of the best defensive catchers in the league. Could help Danny Jansen a lot in that sense.
Mhm.
And he's the best offensive catcher in the league.
Number 3, and I don't think you'll want him, Brant, but like I'm interested as hell.
Okay.
George Springer.
No.
I'm
I don't
down.
want an Astro.
I'm
I don't want that bad juju in my life.
I'm 100% down.
I don't want the bad
Dude's
juju.
a fucking playoff player. He's good. Like he's
I
good.
don't want the bad juju in the play.
He's
my team.
good, Randall Grichuk, bro. He really is.
He's a great player.
Yeah,
I don't want him on my team.
I do.
Sorry. You're an Astro for life now. I don't know. I don't want him.
I want him.
Is he good at the game of baseball?
Yeah.
Don't care.
Sure. I'll take him.
Don't care.
Marcelo Zuna, I don't see the fit.
There's not room for him.
Yeah. DJ
He's not a
LeMahieu.
very good defensive
Yes.
outfielder, is he?
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
Marcus Stroman, yes.
Yeah.
I'm not sold on Stroman, but
Like, it'd be
that's just
fine.
me.
Like I'm not clamoring for him. I'm not like bring him
His
back.
career
I'd
numbers
be
are
like
really good.
I'd be cool with him coming back. But I'm
He's
not
really good in Toronto because he doesn't give up fly balls.
right.
He's a
In
big
Buffalo,
ground ball
Yeah.
pitcher.
not.
It's interesting.
But just the locker room dynamic, though, that's the only thing I worry about, right?
Right.
He was liked by some guys, most guys. It was just like there's a few that don't like him.
Tanaka?
Not for what he'd be worth.
They have
don't
him
think-
projected right now 3 years, 39 million.
13 a year.
Mhm.
Isn't he like 36?
He is
Or he just looks 36?
32. 32.
32.
I'd
I don't
be
hate
down.
it. He wasn't great.
Nope.
And he was really bad against the Jays, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Mhm.
hate it.
Jake Odorizzi. They have him 3 years, 39 million projected with the Jays.
I'm here for it.
I'd rather have Tanaka, I think.
What did you say it was 3 years?
39.
So same as it. I'd rather have Odorizzi. Personally. Yeah, he's projecting a little better. He missed a lot of this year, did he not? Or
Probably.
all of this year, I'm pretty sure. But like
Yep.
the year before this year, he was really good.
He was really good,
Yeah.
but he was bad. Like he's why would you pay him that kind of money after having one good season basically?
Mhm.
Yeah.
One great like
Yeah, you're right. Well, he was always projected to be really good.
mhm.
He was good with the Rays.
Tanaka had a 3.56 ERA. Pretty good. Like in terms of Odorizzi's best year, he had a 3.51 ERA. And Tanaka just put up 3.56
Yeah, you're right.
last year.
You're right. But the trends are just kind of
Sure.
Damn,
it's
Odorizzi's
at.
numbers are not really good.
no.
Michael
He had
Brantley.
a tough stretch. Michael Brantley. I like Michael Brantley. Good person.
Not this team.
He's
I don't
not.
really see it.
He's an Astro that's not an Astro,
Mhm.
if that's a thing.
Sure.
But there's not really room for him other than the fact that
Justin
he's a-
Turner, Marcus Semien.
Hey, Justin Turner, I was very here for before the whole COVID thing. Because the guy's a professional hitter. He's a good guy in your locker room. As long as he's not positive.
Right.
But
That's really all I have.
Is he good at
just sucks.
baseball?
he's great at baseball,
I'll take him.
right?
Last thing. Well, there's a couple more things on the Jays, but I think one of the more interesting ones was: did you guys see the photos of Vlad?
Yeah, he has lost some
Significant
weight.
loss.
He's
Significant.
slim. Like it's not like
It's
he's
not
lost
thick
some
Vlad
weight.
anymore. He's probably
slim.
big bone still, but he's not thick.
No, he's slim.
Looks good. He lost 32
He's
pounds.
lost,
at the start
yeah,
of
and
the
like
season or something.
12 since the season ended.
Mhm.
Pretty good. Can we talk about the Manager of the Year award nominations?
Sure.
I got a really good laugh when they announced them because like they're expected.
Uh-huh.
But if you look at the three, so Charlie Montoyo got one.
Yep.
I
Uh-huh.
get it. I get
You know
it. The
he's gonna
Jays
win. You know there's like a good chance he wins, right?
I think he's the top 2 candidate for it right now.
Well, he better be because one
Yeah.
isn't the coach
No,
anymore.
Yeah, this is what I mean. Rick Renteria is another one. The guy got fired,
Yep.
relieved
Wow.
of his duties.
Yep.
The third one makes sense if you just didn't watch the postseason.
But isn't that
But
what
it's
based
Kevin
on?
Cash.
Yep.
It is. But this is a guy we were just talking about who literally just blew the World
Yes,
Series for the
yes,
Tampa
I
Bay Rays.
agree.
And like Kevin Cash was a really good regular season manager. I thought Rick Renteria did an okay job too. I could be wrong.
Mhm.
But it's just like on the surface, if you just look at everything going on around the three of them, like even Charlie Montoyo's managerial decisions were terrible
Yep.
in the postseason. And those are your three guys. I'm like, that's priceless to me.
Mhm.
Hilarious.
Mhm.
The awards are jokes. Except the Silver Slugger. Shout out to Oscar.
Yep. Yep. That's nice.
Probably our only award winner this year, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
No one's winning a Gold Glove. Or no one
Yo,
won a
guys,
Gold Glove.
breaking news. Donald Trump says the Toronto Maple Leafs should be awarded the 2013 Stanley Cup for having as big of a lead in the third period. Just got retweeted on my timeline.
That's so funny.
Yep.
Speaking of hockey, you want to talk about the OHL a little bit?
Sure. I mean,
Yeah, I heard about this.
the no hand checking rule or the no contact rule. Correct?
Contact. Yeah,
Yep.
no body checking.
Right.
It's not no contact, it's no body checking. So like you can still do board battles and shit. The ruling makes no sense.
This,
Like I'm sorry. It makes
This
zero
complicates a
sense.
lot.
Like
Yeah.
you can't tell me body checking adds any more risk than it does sitting side by side with your entire team on the bench or battling in the corners with the other team because like you're still allowed to do that. It's still a thing. Like a 2-second contact, not even 2 seconds worth of contact is the thing we're trying to eliminate here to help. Like it has nothing to do with COVID at that
Yeah.
point. You're just trying to
Right.
prove a point. It's ridiculous. I
No
hate it,
offense. Why is the OHL having a season?
but development, like you still need guys that can play.
I get that.
You can't ship them all over to Europe and shit.
I just don't
But-
know if it's worth the risk.
Especially now, like what the fuck? No one's gonna show
What does
up.
Erie do? What does Erie do?
Yeah.
They have to find a home here. I'm pretty sure it is. Like there's like 3 because Flint's another one.
Yeah.
There's a few teams that like need to find Canadian homes or something like that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Isn't there teams in the WHL that are located in the U.S.? I swear.
I believe so. Like there's a like I don't know. I think it is stupid that the OHL is having a season in general, especially if you're just not gonna, like, if you're gonna start limiting things you can do in the OHL, just don't fucking have the season. You're not gonna make enough money.
They
anyways.
don't need to have.
Your
Yeah,
league's a joke.
exactly. That's my thing. They don't need to have a season.
No.
If the NBA
If you're a top prospect, go overseas.
if the NBA is weighing having a G League and the NHL is weighing having an AHL, season, what are you doing like as a league underneath that?
Yeah.
What are you doing? Makes
Like
no sense.
if you're one of the guys that's probably going to get drafted this year, get your ass over to Europe. Go play there.
Yeah.
Go play
Play
in
amongst
K.
the men.
Go
It's a
play
better
somewhere
showcase
else.
than playing non-contact hockey. Like that's
Exactly.
not a good evaluation for teams to make on a player.
Mhm.
And that to your guys' point, it's just if other leagues are already not going to do it, like either cancel it or play it in full. Don't do the in between. And doing the play it in full doesn't really seem like a legit option just because there's teams in Canada and there's teams in the US, and that's just a mess waiting to happen if you went with that option. So
Yeah.
just don't do it at all. Right? Like, or if you are going to have teams come over from the US, do it properly and at least have them play the full game, because there's no point in doing half the game of hockey and then expecting teams to go and evaluate these kind of players.
So on just the junior hockey thing in general, my brother just got their rules and regulations for what they can do for junior C. And he's saying, so they're going to do one group does 2 10-minute periods. It's no face-offs, no nothing. It's just like run time every minute and a half. They get buzzed and they do a shift. So they do 2 periods, 2 20-minute, I think he said, 2 25-minute periods or something like that. Then they switch, and then each team gets another different group of people that comes in and plays 2 more 25-minute periods. So like you basically have 2 teams per team that come in and play a 2 25-minute periods each. Wild shit. But no contact, obviously, same idea, same stupid stuff. But like it's just what they're trying to do is just strange. Yeah. At that point, like, why the fuck are you doing it?
Anything else, hockey?
No,
Or was
I got
that
it.
everything?
The NHL was boring this week. Nothing happened.
Not much, yeah.
NHL is boring. As a league, it's boring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the next story?
Do you want to talk? I saw this article actually. It popped up on my phone. It was Dustin Poirier
Right.
basically talking shit about Justin Gaethje
Right.
because Gaethje threw away the interim title when he was
Right.
at the press conference and all that, and like he's like, oh, I want the real belt. And Dustin's like, oh, you need to respect that belt. Like, I worked my whole life to get that belt, and it's like a piece of the real belt, and blah, blah, blah. Shut up, Dustin, dude. Like, that the interim title is the biggest joke in all of sports.
Right. It's just it's a fight to see who's the next one to fight the champion.
Yeah.
That's
like,
all.
you're not a champion. You're a number 1 contender.
I think it's two different things. Like I don't think Dustin's wrong for thinking that. I don't think that Justin's wrong for thinking that. I think it means different things to different people.
It's a participation trophy.
Right.
Is what it is.
Right.
And if you're defending a participation trophy, come on, man. I respect Dustin and his
it's a
opinion.
second place trophy. It's a second place trophy.
It's what it's a silver medal.
To fight the person.
It's a bronze medal. It's not even a silver medal at that point.
Right. It's interesting.
I laughed. I got a good laugh. And I kind of like Justin's side of the thing better. Like, it's not the real belt. You didn't earn this belt. You didn't become the champ. You're just better than everybody else in the division. Sure, you're the second best guy in the division. Congratulations.
Yep.
But you don't need a belt for that.
No.
And it's the same belt. Like, they look exactly the same.
Right.
I don't like it. I think it's stupid.
I agree. We didn't talk about it last week, but Anderson Silva, he lost. Well, the fight happened where it was supposedly going to be his last fight in the UFC. He
Has
lost
he
that
confirmed
fight.
yet?
It's going to be his last fight in the UFC. I know that. It's
Because
not.
he still has one on his contract.
It's not his last MMA fight.
Yeah,
but
he still has a fight on his UFC contract.
Right, but he has a deal with Dana.
Does he? Okay. I'd like to give him a little bit of props because, like, the guy had one of the greatest careers in UFC history, but, like,
Right. Marred by
obviously the end sucks. And
marred by steroids also.
was
Or
it?
PEDs, yep.
Either way, he's one of the better ones that's ever come through the sport. I hated him when he was at his peak because he was just like a different level of cocky where, like, he just never had his arms up half the time because he knew you weren't going to hit him, and he'd just knock you out in like 30 seconds. But like I've seen a lot of stuff online. It's just like, oh, his legacy's tainted because of his last few fights. It's like, shut the fuck up. Like this guy's like 40 something years old. He's still
45,
in it. Like,
I was gonna say, what's he still doing fighting?
Like, come on, man. Like, don't tell me his legacy's tarnished because he lost a few fights near the end that were pretty bad. Like, he got slapped by Uriah Hall. Like, it was not a very good fight. But like, don't tell me because he's still there doing it at 45, his legacy's not what it should have been. Like, your legacy isn't your record. Very different things. Your legacy is what you do for the sport and what you've done at your peak and the way you can win.
I think it matters. Like, losing matters, no matter what. Going out when you,
if Khabib fights till 45, how many fights does he lose?
which then I would say it takes him out of the conversation as the GOAT. Like, not being able to see a chink in the armor matters in fighting because you never see.
Yeah, well, if you only use the armor for a week and then you put it away, that armor's not going to do very bad, right?
Anderson also, like, him breaking his leg was one of the most disgusting sights I've ever seen in my life.
The knockout I loved when he got knocked out because I didn't like him at that point, and like watching him go from like you can't touch me to just like good night, I'm going to sleep was great for me.
But he has disgusting knockouts that are just like
God, his whole career.
The kick for the face. Oh my God.
His whole career, he just knocked guys out in ways that you'd never seen. He reinvented the game almost, like just the way he fought.
Right.
And he's still a legend in the sport. Obviously, the losses suck for like he's not. I don't put him top 5 personally.
He could be top 5 if you say that steroids don't matter. He's definitely. I think he's top 5 in that situation.
I don't even put him top 5 even with it. But like I don't think he's Jose Aldo. I could be wrong. I think I put Jose Aldo above him. I put Mighty Mouse above him, and then obviously there's the 3 guys we've already talked about numerous times.
Right.
So I don't put him top 5, but he's still one of the greatest that's ever come through, and he was revolutionary for the sport and what he did.
He's top 7, no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Who's better, him or DC? DC?
It's close. It's a battle. So I mean, like, which is why I don't put him top 5. I think there's a lot of names you could have the argument. I don't think you're right or wrong on who you choose with a couple of those guys, but he's not top 5 for that reason. I think there's enough guys that are above him, but he's still one of the greatest that have ever done it. Like, there's a lot of guys that have fought in the UFC. That number 7 is not something to shake a stick at. Connor's not top 10, and Connor's still one of the craziest fighters we've ever seen.
Right. For sure.
But yeah.
What else?
Always sucks when a legend goes.
For sure. I think that's it.
I think that's it. Yeah. No, I got nothing else.
Cool.
Politics.
Yeah. You know.
It won.
Thanks for listening to the A Politics podcast.
Yeah. To A Politics podcast.
Yeah, Jesus.
But that's it for this week. We'll catch you guys on the flip side. See you guys next time. Peace.